Microphone test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time on the mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Live here from Eller Media Stadium in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. It is the start of the 2026 softball season. Hello and Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. Thank you for joining us here on your Thursday night, wherever you are listening to us on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. UNLV welcoming in California Baptist. The Lancers making the trip here to Las Vegas, about a 3-hour bus ride for them. UNLV coming into this ball game. Expectations for the Rebels looking to bounce back after a frustrating end to the 2025 season. Overall, UNLV, they did miss the conference tournament. They went 24-25, 7-15 in conference play. A lot of new faces on this UNLV team and a lot of faces that they're going to have to replace. Some key ones, so one of them being the queen of RBIs, Ariana Martinez, Carmina Becerra, Jesse Farrell, Sophia Morales, 4 of the 5 of the top hitters for UNLV that the Rebels will have to replace in this 2026 season. They're taking on the Lancers, who are welcoming in their first-year head coach, Brandon Telesco. Last season for the Lancers, they went 26-32, 11-13 in conference play. It's their final season in the WAC before they head on over to the Big West. UNLV, they lead the all-time series between them and California Baptist 5-0, with UNLV winning the last game last year. A 7-6 win for the Rebels that happened in 8 innings. Yanina Sherwood is the starting pitcher for UNLV, and the 2026 season is underway in Las Vegas, Nevada. And the first pitch is a high chopper over to short. Long throw over to first will not be in time, and it's going to be a leadoff single for the Lancers. It is Maddie Severance who's able to get a leadoff hit, a grounder over to short, and UNLV, the speed there by Maddie, is able to beat out the throw. So Yanina's first pitch of the season is she got the ground out that she wanted, but unfortunately unable to get the out. So she'll have to deal with runners on the base paths for Sherwood, who is entering her sophomore season. The top pitcher last year for UNLV, as the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. It is Kenzie Ferrier-Pylon, the freshman, standing 5'7" from California. So you've got Severance over at third, Everett at first, the junior who is entering her third season. Bunt is being shown, and the pitch is going to be taken high for a ball. 1-1 is the count. For Yanina Sherwood, the sophomore from Mill Creek, Washington, standing 5'11". Last season named to the All-Mount West Honorable Mention team. She had 37 appearances, had 23 starts, led the team with a 3.88 ERA and 171 innings of work. She was the workhorse for UNLV, as the next pitch is going to miss on the outside for a ball. 2-1 is the count. But for Sherwood, as we mentioned last season, through 171 and third innings of work, 97 Ks, went 13-8 with a save, 12 complete games. Opponents hit 296 against Sherwood. As the 2-1 is going to be dropped in there for a strike. 2-2 is the count. Calling balls and strikes here to start out the 2026 season is Jim Bertuzzi. Over at first, Daniel Maldonado, and Michael Hertz is over at third. Currently sitting right now behind second base. So runner on first here. Nobody out early on in the ballgame. The 2-2 pitch from Sherwood, looking for her first strikeout of the year. And it's going to be a ground ball. It's going to be sent foul out of play. Count remains 2-2. So I didn't really have a chance to talk about Severance, the junior from Norco, California. As I mentioned, entering her third season with the team. Last season, she played in 55 games, 49 starts, led the team in batting average at .360, first team all-WAC. She is probably one of their key players, if not their key player. As this is going to be a grounder over to short. The throw to first is not going to be in time, so it's 2 infield hits here for the Lancers. And they're putting the pressure on Yanina Sherwood, who has got the ground balls that she has been asking for, but unfortunately has not been able to get the out. So you've got a runner at second and first here with nobody out in the top of the first inning. As that will bring up the number 3 hitter, the first baseman for California Baptist, number 23, Ashley Annette. And Annette, another one of those key players coming back from last season's squad. And you got to keep an eye out for. So Sherwood is set and trying to put up a 0 spot on the board. UNLV last season, they were outscored in the first inning, as the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Defensively for UNLV, out in left field, you've got Mantha Hatzenbeller. Gwen Burnett is out in center field. Kiana Chavez, the New Mexico transfer, she is in right field. And Sherwood is set in the 0-1. This one's going to be fouled back, and the count goes to 0-2 as Sherwood trying to battle back here and trying to get the strikeout. And over at third base, it is Taryn Calderon getting the start over at third. You've got Natalie Turner over at second. Lila Gonzalez is over at second, or Turner over at short, my apologies. Bree Williams is over at first, and Diamond Sefe is behind the plate. The 0-2 from Sherwood looking for the strikeout, unable to get the chase, and the count goes to 1-2. So Ashley Annette up to bat. Annette, the senior, standing 5'7", had her breakout season last year. She played and started in all 59 games. She led the team with 65 hits, and a hit here could give the Lancers a lead. It's going to be a ground ball to short. The throw to first will be in time, so we've had 3 ground balls to short by Yanina Sherwood, and she finally is able to get the first out, but it's a productive out for Annette. And she does move the runner over, both runners into scoring position at second and third here. 1 out early on in the ballgame. UNLV will have to work their magic. Defense is kind of in. Over at third and first. And Sherwood is set. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled back into the backstop. And the count goes here to 0-1. Up to bat here for the Lancers is number 25, Michaela Medellin. Medellin, the senior from Yorba Linda, California, transfer from Long Beach State. A good get in the transfer portal for the Lancers. As the 0-1. This one's going to miss on the outside for a ball. 1-1 is the count. So runners at second and third if you're just joining us. 2 infield hits for California Baptist, and then a grounder to short that moved the runners into scoring position. We mentioned Brandon Telesco, who's in his first season for California Baptist. Came over from Cal, as this one is going to be on the inside, and that hits Medellin. So she's hit by a pitch, and Sherwood dealing with a little bit of trouble here in the top of the first inning. 2 infield hits and a hit batter. Bases are juiced with 1 out. It's not the worst thing in the world. It does put the force out at home. And that will bring up Victoria Macias, the infielder, junior from Riverside, California, transfer from Hawaii Hilo. Sherwood is set, and the first pitch with the bases juice is a chopper that's going to go up the middle, and it's going to get into center field for a base hit. And the first runs of the ball game, the first runs of the year for California Baptist, come off the bat of the Hawaii Hilo transfer. It's a 2-run single up the middle, 2-0 early on. California Baptist on top of UNLV. So the speed works out to the advantage for CBU as they are able to work those infield hits, and Sherwood, who came in as obviously the projected #1 starter, has given up 2 hits early on in the ball game, along with that hit batter. So a 2-run single, and 2-0 is the score before UNLV can come up to bat here. That got by Turner, reaching out to her left, just unable to keep it in front of her. And Sherwood is set, trying to bounce back to limit the damage to just 2 runs. The first pitch is going to be taken on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Up to bat, number 6, Sydney Peterson, a senior from Linden, California, transfer from LSU. And she gets underneath this one, high up into the air. I believe it's going to stay in play. It is for Bree Williams, so we'll get the start over at first, and she's able to clamp it down for a big out number 2 for UNLV. As I mentioned, just trying to limit the damage to just those 2 runs given up. Bree Williams getting the start over at first. We saw her play majority of her defensive reps last year in the outfield. She is replacing one of the all-time greats at UNLV, Ariana Martinez, the RBI queen, who commanded the first base bag last year, as the first pitch is going to miss on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Maliki Russell Millen up to bat, the sophomore, standing 5'4". Senior, standing 5'4". As the 1-0 pitch, this one's going to be fouled back into the netting. Count goes to 1-1. For CBU last year, 26-32. They've never beat UNLV. They had a batting average of .283. They got about 4 runs per game, about, I would say, 8 hits per game. For the Lancers, who are projected to finish second in the WAC coaches preseason poll. Their final season in the conference before they head to the Big West. As the next pitch is going to miss down low for a ball, 2-1 is the count. So Sherwood, as we mentioned, last season named to the All-Mountain West Honorable Mention, was also named to the Mountain West preseason team. Last season for UNLV as a team, 4.49. UNLV really only used about 2 pitchers. It was Sherwood and Amelia Weber. As the 2-1. This one is a check swing that's going to go foul. 2-2 is the count. 2 outs here with runners at second and first. It is Medellin over at second. And Macias is over at first. Got the 2-run single. It scored Severns, and it scored Kenzie Ferrier-Pylon. As this one is going to be dropped down low as Sherwood looking for that first strikeout of the year. The count goes full 3-2. So the Lancers have had 7 batters come up to bat here. 3 for 5 overall to start out the 2026 season. UNLV coming up to bat in the bottom of the first inning. They will have Turner, Chavez, and Aki. As the payoff pitch. This one's popped up into the air, and it's going to land for a base hit in the center field. That's going to score another run. And California Baptist with a 2-out hit. A little bloop single into center field. 3-0. With now runners at the corners as Russell Millen is able to get that little bloop single battling there with the count full 3-2. And I'll bring up Jordan Madrigal, the freshman from Victorville, California. So Sherwood dealing with a little bit of trouble here. Sherwood, last season, freshman year was kind of the roller coaster, but the roller coaster was heading up high at the end of the season. She was really throwing her best stuff and had a lot of confidence coming into the season. Obviously not the start that she wants, but trying to limit the damage to just 3 runs here in the top of the first inning. $3-0 is the score. Start of the 2026 softball season. You couldn't ask for a better night. Probably hovering around high 60s, I think, because it's been an unusual warm weather in winter for Las Vegas. We've been hitting 70s in January. Supposed to cool down next weekend for UNLV. The Rebels very busy here at Eller Media Stadium hosting 4 tournaments before they start conference play. As the count is 2-0. We're going to make that 2-1 as Sherwood is able just to drop it in there on the outside part of the zone. So Russell Millen over at first. She has the RBI single. Macias with the 2-run single as a bunt attempt. Runner's going to go to second, and there's going to be no throw by Diamond Sefe. So they'll put 2 runners in scoring position here. As Madrigal attempted to go for the bunt, she did go around. So the count is 2-2, 2 outs. Sherwood trying to get out of the inning with just the 3 runs given up. As UNLV not off to the start that they would like for the 2026 season. Sherwood gets her sign and the pitch. Looking for the strikeout. Is unable to get it. Trying to get Madrigal to chase on a low pitch. And one thing that you guys can't quite see on the single cam here we have, but there's a pitch clock now out in left field. You got 20 seconds in between each pitch. Sherwood looking for the strikeout. The payoff pitch. This one's going to be sent to first. A diving attempt. Is it caught? No, it is not. Bree Williams with a valiant effort, but the home plate umpire said she trapped the ball as Jim Bertuzzi behind the plate. So Sherwood almost was able to get out of the inning. Have to work her magic yet again. The Lancers are on top 3-0 as the payoff pitch. This one's going to miss outside, ball 4. So 9 batters will come up to bat here for California Baptist. Time is going to be called. I believe we might have a pitch runner for Madrigal. Mentioned first-year head coach Brandon Telesco. Trying to work his magic and improve on what was last season's squad of 26 and 32, 11 and 13 in conference plays. We talked about it in the WAC coaches preseason poll. California Baptist, CBU, was projected to finish second. 3 players were announced to the preseason all-WAC team. Severance Dava, who is the starting pitcher. We've not seen her in this ballgame. Before she even throws her first pitch in the 2026 season, she's been spotted 3 runs and a net. 16 newcomers on this squad. UNLV also has a boatload of newcomers as well. Christy Fox, the head coach for UNLV, entering her 9th season. So the bases are juiced yet again. I mean, runners on the base paths since the first pitch of the ball game, as that one is going to be swung on a miss for a strike. 0-1 is the count. It is Stevie Robertson up to bat, the sophomore from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Went to Shadow Ridge High School, which is all the way out there in the north part of the valley. Well, let's say about northwest part of the valley. There's the 0-1. And maybe north. Somewhere in between there. Count goes to 1-1. Shadow Ridge High School, a very good softball program. Last season over at Shadow Ridge, she played in 57 games, started 38. Or sorry, last season for Robinson for CBU, she started 57 games, played in 57 games, started 38. As a check swing, and did she go around? She did. First game of the year for everybody on the field, and also first game for the announcers as you try to get the rust off. She had 220, scored 19 runs, and had 24 hits. Actually, no, check that. It is not Robinson. That was the pitch hitter. It is Berkeley Tuck. My apologies. As there's a grounder to third. It's picked up in fair territory. Step on the bag for the force out, and that will end the inning. So that was Berkeley Tuck who was pitch hitting, the freshman from Hillsboro, Oregon, and that will end the inning. But the Lancers are able to get 3 runs across the board before UNLV can take their first at-bat of the 2026 season. We'll be right back here from Las Vegas, Nevada. California Baptist on top, 3-0. Back here live at Eller Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tom Check on the call. Thank you for joining us here on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. So, California Baptist is able to get 3 runs across the board in the top of the first inning. And UNLV will try to battle back. First appearance of the year for the Rebels in the batter's box. It'll be Natalie Turner, a transfer from Troy, and the first pitch, she's swinging for the fences, misses that one. The count goes to 0-1. For Turner, the senior from Dothan, Alabama, standing 5'5", started her career at Southern Union Community College. Last 3 seasons at Troy, where she played in 156 games with 125 starts. And she'll take the next pitch high, get a little bit inside for a ball. 1-1 is the count. She had a .228 average with 66 hits, 6 doubles, 3 home runs, 2 triples, and she's good on the base paths. You see the defense in for California Baptist, 38 out of 40, so he's the speed threat. You know, he didn't run as much as last year as a attempt on the bunt by Turner, peel over to first, and they say Turner did not commit. 2-1 is the count. Last season for UNLV, just 9 of 16. And under Christy Fox, they love to be active, have the chaos on the base paths, as Turner swings and misses at that one, and the count goes to 2-2. Starting pitcher today, the sophomore Miranda Dava. from Riverside, California. Last season, she played for Cal, so she's following her head coach, Brandon Telesco. As the 2-2 pitch, swung on a miss, strike threes. That's the first strikeout of the ball game against the first hitter for the Rebels. So Turner is set down. First strikeout for Dava, and that will bring up Kiana Chavez. Chavez, familiar in the Mountain West. She played her last 3 seasons at New Mexico, where she played in 134 games with 116 starts. In her career, she batted .310 with 104 hits, 13 doubles, 8 home runs, had 50 RBIs, and scored 79 runs. Her mom played at New Mexico from 2001 to 2006. Looking for a bounce-back year. Her last season at New Mexico, she hit just 156. She is good friends with the RBI queen, Ariana Martinez. I was able to talk to Kiana Chavez before the season. Any pressure, any advice that Ariana Martinez had for her? Anana, the RBI queen, who will be a big loss for the Rebels, one of the best players in UNLV history. And UNLV has to replace 4 of their top 5 hitters from last year's squad. Sherelle Aki, the only one returning, who hit over 300, as that one is going to be in there for a strike. 2-1 is the count. For Dava, finish out her stats at UC Berkeley, where she had 13 wins, had an ERA of 3.25, had 70 strikeouts, and opponents hit .241 against her. As a 2-1, and Chavez gets underneath this one and sends it foul out of play. 2-2 is the count. So 3-0 is the score. 9 hitters came up for California Baptist, and Tuck is still out there in right field. Just to give you an update, that was the pitch hitter. Originally, I thought there was going to be a pitch runner there in the first inning, but it was a pitch hitter, so sorry for the late notice on that. As right now the count 3-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Dava already got Turner out on strikes as Chavez gets underneath this one and fouls it off the top of the pole. Count remains 3-2. Defensively for California Baptist, you've got Severance in left field. Medellin is in center, and Tuck right now is in right field. As the payoff pitch is going to be taken down low, ball 4. So the first base runner for UNLV on this 2026 season is going to be Kiana Chavez via the free pass. And UNLV very patient last season as they had 158 walks. And that brings back one of the top returners for UNLV, Sherelle Aki, the designated player for UNLV, the junior. One of her goals that I was able to talk to her last Friday, to be able to be more consistent hitting with runners on the base paths. So you got Chavez over at first. Aki takes the first pitch for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Sherelle last season, it was her breakout year. She's from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the junior, standing 5'8". And she was swinging for a home run, unable to connect, and the count goes to 1-1. For Aki, last season she played in 42 games, 38 starts. She had .311 with a .423 on-base percentage, 32 hits, 5 doubles, 3 home runs, had 19 RBIs. First career home run came against Colorado State. As the 1-1 hits on the inside for a strike. 1-2 is the count. Finish out the defensive alignment here for California Baptist. Russell Millen is over at third. Ferrier is over at short. Peterson at second. Annette is over at first. And Madrigal is behind the plate. Aki will take this one high for a ball, and the count goes to 2-2. You got Diamond Cefe due up next. Bree Williams will be batting 5th. Calderon will be batting 6th. Burnett batting 7th, Gonzalez batting 8th, and Hatzenbeller will be batting 9th. That is the lineup for Christy Fox, who is in her 9th season. Aki swings and misses, cannot connect, and that is 2 outs via the punch-out here in the bottom of the first inning, and UNLV will need a 2-out hit by Diamond Cefe. The senior, standing 5'8" from Carson, California. In her second season here at UNLV. Last season, she played in 36 games with 30 starts. She batted .211, 19 hits, 5 doubles, 2 home runs, and overall 11 RBIs. Chavez over at first, reached via the walk. Dava has been able to get 2 strikeouts and is out to a good start here. The count goes to 0-1. Mentioned Coach Fox, who was in her 9th season, 236 and 140, overall 371 and 280. Her assistants, Andy Jarvis, Anthony Oresco, and Maddie Schmidt. Coach Jarvis over at third. Maddie over at first. Maddie had a heck of a career here at UNLV. As next pitch is going to miss high for a ball. 1-1 is the count. For California Baptist, they will have the 1, 2, and 3 hitters, and how that first inning started, if you weren't watching or came in late, it was back-to-back singles as this one's popped up in the air over 2 short, easy play, and that will end the inning as UNLV got a 1-out walk, but nothing across the board. We go to the top of the second inning. California Baptist on top of UNLV, 3-0 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. California Baptist on top of UNLV 3-0. Well, we got an opportunity. We want to mention this game is brought to you by the Southern Nevada Chevy dealers. From game day to getaway, Chevy's lineup is ready for all the adventure ahead. Choose from SUVs like the roomy and versatile Equinox or Silverado, trusted by those who know what real dependability means. See your Southern Nevada Chevy dealer today. So you mentioned 3-0 the score early on. First game of the 2026 season. Softball is back. UNLV and California Baptist. As backup for CBU is going to be Maddie Severns. And Severns attacked on the first pitch that she saw for the 2026 season and was able to get an infield hit. As I was saying right before we went to break, how that inning started for California Baptist in the top of the first inning. Back-to-back infield hits. Sherwood got the ground outs, just was unable to beat the speed. Both grounders over to short. So the count is 2-0. So Sherwood, after that first inning, will try to settle things down. UNLV got 1 base runner on in the bottom of the first inning, but nothing across the board. Overall, 4 hits. And multiple times, CBU was able to get the bases loaded. Bunt attempt here, and Severns went around. Count goes to 2-1. So for Severns, as we mentioned, one of their top players coming back. She was named to the preseason All-WAC team. After last season, she was named to the first team All-WAC team. She was second on the team in runs batted in with 29 and third on the team in hits with 54. So one of those key players that Brandon Telesco is going to lean on in his first season. As the count goes to 3-1. Last season for California Baptist, they were 16 for 28 on stolen base opportunities. Mentioned 16 newcomers on the team, 10 freshmen and 6 transfers. As this one's going to be ripped down the third baseline, and it's going to go foul. To make the count full 3-2, Sherwood still looking for her first strikeout of the season. Last year, she had 97 strikeouts. Yanina had just a very, very impressive end to the season. There was a series that she had against Boise State where, man, nothing could go right. And those were kind of those freshmen learning moments that help either move you to the top as an elite player or could keep you down. And Sherwood did not let that keep her down. As a chopper over to second, this would be a tough play. Throw to first, not in time. Back-to-back infield hits here for Severns, who is able to beat the throw over at second. Gonzalez took the step back to get it on the hop, and taking that step back cost her. So for the second straight inning, a leadoff infield single as California Baptist looks to increase their lead as they're on top 3-0 here in Sin City. Sherwood Takes her time. First pitch bunt is going to be shown. Runner's headed in his second. Throw by Diamond Sefe is not going to be in time. So Severance is able to get the stolen base, and she's in scoring position. Yet again, Sherwood's going to have to deal with runners in scoring position. Overall for California Baptist in that first inning, they were 2 for 5. A 2-run single and an RBI hit. All 3 of their runs have been scored via the single. As Farrier Pylon up to bat. This one is going to be dropped down low, and the count goes to 1-1. She reached on an infield hit, the freshman. Her first career hit, an infield hit over to short. Standing 5'7". Sherwood gets her sign, and the 1-1 is going to miss on the outside for a ball. 2-1 is the count. We talked about it in the first inning. You know, Sherwood was really the workhorse for UNLV. The Rebels really only used about 2 pitchers last year. It was Sherwood and Amelia Weber's. Jasmine Chavez also had a decent amount of innings, but it was really Weber and it was Sherwood, as this one's going to be dropped in a little bit low. 3-1 is the count. And I saw somebody go back into the batting cages looking to warm up here, actually, to the bullpen for UNLV. Now, the one thing that the Rebels did do in the offseason, they acquired more depth at the pitching position. They have a lot more compared to last year. As a 3-1 pitch, Sherwood trying to get the strike she does. It makes the count full 3-2. You have Ashley Annette due up next, the senior, who grounded out to short in her first plate appearance. It was a productive at-bat because it moved both runners into scoring position. Count is full 3-2. Sherwood is set just before the pitch clock, as this one's going to be sent over to second. It gets in the center field for a base hit. Severance is going to be waved home. She will score. It is 4-0. California Baptist on top of UNLV here in the top of the second inning. Farrier Pylon is able to just sneak that one by Gonzalez as she was going to her right, and Christy Fox quickly out of the dugout, and I think that's going to be the end of the line here for Yanina Sherwood, who did not get the start that she would like to in her sophomore season. I think, as now Coach Fox actually more, the first persons that she talks to is everybody on the infield. So we've had 3 infield hits for California Baptist, as Annette will be up to bat. So the top 2 hitters in this lineup for California Baptist are a combined 4 for 4. They're setting the tone, and Sherwood has had just 2 batters that she has faced with nobody on the base paths, and it's been the leadoff hitter in Severance. So Sherwood is going to stay in. Coach Fox, that was more of a kind of a defensive mound visit, per se, just to talk to the infield and kind of calm things down a little bit as a run is scored here in the top of the second. 4-0. California Baptist on top of UNLV. We're looking for their first win against the Rebels. So Sherwood is set here, and the first pitch to Annette is going to be taken on the outside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. The senior standing 5'7" last season. We talked about it, a breakout season, started all 59 games, led the team with 65 hits, earned all WAC second team honors, did Annette. 349 average. And she's going to rip this one to second. Gonzalez has it. Throw to second. She slipped and fell, and it's going to be in time. Really, really close on that play, but they get the force out. Pylon is out. Gonzalez, as you saw there, she was just on the edge of the grass as she was was going for the turn to throw to second, and she lost her footing. Still was able to get just enough on the throw on the bounce. Good job by Turner to be able to help out her second baseman. So it's 1 out here, still with a runner at first. And the pitch is going to be taken down low for a ball. 1-0 is the count. So Michaela Medellin will be up to bat. Medellin was hit by a pitch in her first plate appearance. She was a good get out of the transfer portal. senior, standing 5'6" from Yorba Linda, California. She rips this one over to third. It goes off the glove into left field for a base hit. So Medellin is able to get the 6th hit of the ball game. Check that now, 7th hit of the ball game for California Baptist. Runners at second and first here, 1 out in the top of the second. I was going to say that for Medellin, who played at Long Beach State, 3 seasons there. She played at 146 games with 130 starts, career .321 average with 134 hits, 9 home runs, and 70 RBIs. He was named to the Big West Freshman of the Year and first team in 2024. So we will have a pitching change here for UNLV. Yanina Sherwood is out. New pitcher for the Rebels. We'll take a quick break and be right back here from Las Vegas, Nevada. California Baptist on top of UNLV 4-0. Back here live at Alameda Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. So Yanina Sherwood's night is over. She's still on the hook for runners at second and first as we have a new pitcher for UNLV, the sophomore from Oakdale, California, standing 5'5", Reagan Everett. Played last season at UC Riverside. She had 5 wins on the year, 4.20 ERA, 80 innings of work. She had 42 strikeouts, and she will try to work around the traffic on the base paths as the first pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count. So Everett, her first appearance as a Rebel. The Lancers on top 4-0. Already 7 hits in the ball game. Their top 2 hitters are 4 for 4 on the day. The 0-1 be taken down low. Good stop by Diamond Sefe. 1-1 is the count. Victoria Macias up to bat. And she had that 2-run single. And broke open the scoring. And she's going to rip this one over to third. It's bobbled, and everybody's going to be safe. Miscue over at third. Calderon, the freshman, going to her left. Had the ball bounce off of her glove. It's going to be an error on UNLV. Everybody's safe. And unfortunately, the start that UNLV did not want to see here to start out the 2026 season, and they've not been as clean as they would like to on the infield. So yet again, the Lancers have the bases juice as the first pitch is going to go up the middle for a base hit, and that's going to score at least 2. The throw to the plate will be cut off. Throw to third will not be in time. And heading over to second with a 2-run single. It is now 6-0. Sydney Peterson is able to knock in a couple runs. Another 3-spot here for the Lancers to start out the ball game. 3 in the first, 3 in the second. So the error going to come back to bite UNLV a little bit. Could have, I don't know if it would have been a double play ball, but at least would have had an opportunity. Now runners at second and third, advancing on the throw as the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike. 0-1 is a count. Malaki Russell Millen up to bat. And she is 1 for 1 on the day. So Peterson attacks the first pitch. She sends it up the middle for her first hit of the season and first RBIs. As this one sent high and deep into right field. It is well hit, but not well enough. Chavez has it, but it does the job as the runner tagging from third. The ball gets off the glove, and they're going to send the second runner. Throw to the plate. Will not be in time. Another miscue for UNLV, and it's now 8-0. Macias is able to score on the sacrifice fly, and then Peterson never stopped running. Got the green light as the ball bounced off the glove of Gonzalez, with Chavez throwing the ball back in at second. 5 runs now here in the top of the second inning. 2 outs And finally, for UNLV, at least the bases are cleared here. There have been 13 at-bats for the Lancers with runners on today. They're 8 for 13. As this one is sent back foul out of play. Count goes to 0-1. It is Jordan Madrigal up to bat. So I believe that's going to be an error for UNLV. It is right now as it stands. 2 errors on the day. Last year for the Rebels, they had 37 as a team. So right now for Yanina Sherwood, to end out her night, she went 1 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs given up. They were all earned a walk. She hit 1 batter, faced 13 batters overall. As this one's going to be set on a line to second. Ball is bobbled a couple times there by Gonzalez, but she's able to clamp it down for out number 3, and that will finally end the top of the second inning. But 5 runs across the board here for the Lancers. 8-0 the score. UNLV is going to have to wake up the bats here as they trail by 8. We head to the bottom of the second here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The first game of the 2026 season. Bottom of the second, it's gone extremely well for the Lancers of California Baptist. They're on top 8-0. UNLV will have the 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. A few errors cost UNLV in that top of the second. As the first pitch here by Williams is popped up over on the right-hand side. This is going to be an easy play. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the second as Williams is set down. So Dava, in her first start, has already been spotted 8 runs. What a gift for your first start at California Baptist. So Williams set down. It will be Taryn Calderon will be up to bat. And the first pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count. The freshman, who did have one of those errors in the top of the second inning, looked to take out some frustration out on the ball. As the count is 0-1, and the pitch is going to be dropped in for a strike. 0-2 is the count. The freshman standing 5'5" from Modesto, California. It's her first at bat. First collegiate at bat, 4-year letter winner at Central Catholic High School in her junior year. She batted .387. Sophomore year, she batted .374. First pitch, or the next pitch, sorry, is going to be taken on the outside for a ball. 1-2 is the count. Dava in the first inning worked around a walk, got a couple of strikeouts and a little pop-up over to short. As the next pitch is going to be taken high and outside. Good eye by the freshman. It's going to be 2-2 now here with 1 out. Gwen Burnett is due up next, the speedster. The 2-2 and swung on and foul back, foul tip. So, you know, for UNLV, obviously not the start that they would like here for the 2026 season. Still got a long way to go. Obviously right now down by 8, so you got to get a couple runs to avoid getting run ruled. after 5 innings as the 2-2. Swung on a miss, strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for the Cal transfer. That will bring up Gwyn Burnett. Sophomore, stands 5'2" from Atlanta, Texas. Last season, she played in 27 games, 10 starts, batted .200, scored 12 runs, was 2 for 4 on stolen base opportunities. And Burnett looking to take the jump from freshman year to sophomore year. You see the defense in. Burnett has the speed. Really good speed is what I've been told. As the first pitch is going to be taken for a strike, 0-1 is a count. You've got Gonzalez due up next, the freshman. If Burnett can keep this inning alive. Right now, 8 runs off of 8 hits, no errors for the Lancers. Burnett swings and misses at that one, and the count goes to 0-2. For UNLV, still waiting for their first hit. Their first base runner was Kiana Chavez, who was able to reach on a walk. But 2 errors for the Rebels. That happened in the top of the second. Come back to bite UNLV a little bit. As the 0-2. Burnett, half swing. Did she go around? She did. And it's a clean 1-2-3 inning for Dava and the Lancers as we go to the top of the third. California Baptist on top of UNLV 8-0 here on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. Back here live at Ella Media Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. 8-0 the score. California Baptist on top of UNLV. Well, we got an opportunity. We want to mention this game is brought to you by West Coast Trial Lawyers. West Coast Trial Lawyers is the #1 rated personal injury firm and are proud supporters of UNLV Athletics. Get the most with West Coast. First pitch here in the top of the third inning is going to be taken for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Reagan Everett back out for another inning of work. It is Berkeley Tuck who is up to bat. The freshman standing 6'1" from Hillsboro, Oregon. And half swing did go around, and the count goes here 0-2. UNLV has dealt with a boatload of runners on the base paths in this ball game. 14 times the Lancers have been able to come up to bat with somebody on the base paths. They're 8 for 14. Runners in scoring position, they're 4 for 9. This one will miss on the outside for a ball. 1-2's the count. So the Rebels have not been able to get a hit so far in the first 2 innings. And for UNLV, they will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up. Everett is set. The pitch swung on a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be the first strikeout of the ball game for UNLV, and are finally able to set down the leadoff hitter for the Lancers. The reason why they have been unsuccessful in the first 2 innings, it has been Maddie Severns who has led it off, and she is 2 for 2 on the day with 2 infield hits. Severns, 2 for 2 on the day. And for Everett, her first strikeout as a UNLV Rebel. We want to congratulate her on that. And also mention that strikeout is brought to you by Belfour. First pitch misses on the outside for a ball. 1-0's the count. So right now for UNLV, still, as I mentioned, still got quite a bit of ways. You got overall 3 innings to get it within below this 8-run deficit to avoid getting run ruled. And that one's going to miss down low for a ball. 2-0's the count. Due up next is the freshman Kenzie Ferrier-Pylon. So the top 2 hitters are 4 for 4 on the day, and that's been the reason why UNLV has just had to deal with all this chaos on the base paths. 8 for 14 with runners on for the Lancers. 571. And Severns has been able to score both times as she has reached base. Currently in a good spot here with the count 3-0, and that was going to drop in for a strike, 3-1. So you mentioned for the Rebels, they will be hosting quite a bit of tournaments. As this one right to third, and it's going to be caught by the freshman on a line drive. Calderon is able to clamp it down as she had really no time to react. Right at him ball, and they were able to finally set down Maddie Severns. And that will bring up Kenzie Ferrier-Pylon. So Everett looking for a clean 1-2-3 inning and put up the first 0 spot on the day against the Lancers. The first pitch is going to miss on the outside for a ball, 1-0 count. But for UNLV, the start of the UNLV Leadoff Classic. Tomorrow they will also be playing California Baptist. They'll be at, actually, sorry, I jumped the gun there. They'll be on Saturday. Got my days mixed up as that one is dropped down low for a ball. 2-0 count. UNLV will play one game tomorrow. It will be against UIC. 6 p.m. Pacific time is the scheduled first pitch. Obviously, as you guys know, with tournaments, you're hoping everything's on time. As this one's popped up and is going to be fouled out of play. Count goes to 2-1, 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. 8-0 is the score. 3 runs in the first, 5 in the second for the Lancers. So UNLV will get a rematch against California Baptist on Saturday and also play UIC as well. And then on Sunday, they will be playing Purdue. Count is 2-1, the pitch. This one's popped up into the air in center field. Burnett will go over to her right, and she's able to clamp it down for out number 3. So UNLV gets a clean 1-2-3 inning, and the Rebels will try to wake up the bats as they are trailing this one 8-0 here in the first game of the 2026 season from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're in the bottom of the third here at Eller Media Stadium in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. Thank you for joining us here on your Thursday night, wherever you're watching us on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. UNLV trying to get the bats going, trying to get the confidence going as they're down 8-0 in an early hole as Dava back out for another inning of work. It'll be Lila Gonzalez up to bat as the first pitch to the freshman is going to miss on the outside for a ball, 1-0 count. Gonzalez, the freshman, standing 5'5" from Norco, California, 4-year letter winner at Chino Hills High School. Helped her team to 3 consecutive baseline league championships. As the 1-0 is going to be taken for a strike on the outside. 1-1 is the count. Last year, she batted .400 with 16 RBIs, and in 2024, she hit .308 with 12 RBIs. For the Rebels, they bring back 10 letter winners. They lose 10 letter winners. Big one, though, the impact they took from those players that were lost via graduation or the transfer portal was the hitting. 4 out of the 5 top hitters for UNLV gone from last season's squad. A lot of opportunities try to become the next legend, as this one's going to be ripped into the gap for a base hit, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. Gonzalez will take the turn, and she has a stand-up lead-off double in the bottom of the third inning as UNLV tries to mount the comeback. So for Gonzalez, her first hit as a Rebel, her first collegiate hit. Nice line drive shot into the gap in left center field. So they'll bring up Mantha Hatzenbeller. Hatzenbeller wearing number 12, the sophomore from Idaho. 2023, she was named the Gatorade Idaho and Max Preps Player of the Year. Last season, played in 28 games with 4 starts, had 1 hit on the year, so she's looking for a rise from last year to this year. And she was swinging for her first career home run, but is unable to connect, and the count goes to 0-1. The first hit of the ball game for UNLV. Dava will have to deal with runners on the base paths. We mentioned for Brandon Telesco, who is in his first season for California Baptist. Took over in July of 2025, as that one's going to be dropped in. 0-2's account. Spent the prior 2 seasons as an associate head coach with Cal as a recruiting coordinator and leading all offensive strategy. And the Golden Bears increased their win totals and offensive stats in the past 2 seasons, as that one is swung on and foul back. California Baptist looking to, as we say, in Las Vegas, get lucky, hit the right number, and try to build up on some success in their last season in the WAC before they head to the Big West. Hatzenbeller gets underneath this one and will foul it back out of play. Big thing for Mantha, if she can get Gonzalez over to third, before you turn it over to the top of the lineup with Natalie Turner due up. California Baptist, they will have 2 games tomorrow against Purdue and UIC as Hatzenbeller swings and misses, cannot connect. And it's a strikeout, another strikeout for the sophomore. That's 5 strikeouts for Dava against the first 9 hitters that she has faced, and one of them was Natalie Turner, who was up to bat. The Troy transfer in the start today at short. Turner has good speed. Defense is preparing for it as the first pitch is going to be taken down low for a ball. 1-0's the count. For UNLV, 5 games this week. Then the Rebels will be hosting the UNLV Desert Classic next weekend. UC Davis, Quinnipiac, Seattle U will be on the docket, and they will host the UNLV Rebel Classic. So first 3 tournaments here at home. Quinnipiac, as I butchered the first time of it. There we go, second time is the better attempt. 1-1 is the count. And this one's going to be popped up right in front of me. It's going to hit off the top of the press box here at Alameda Stadium. Out in left field and right field, 200 feet. Center field, the deepest part of the ballpark, at 220. For UNLV, they were projected to finish also tied for 8th with New Mexico. 10 teams in the conference this year with the addition of Grand Canyon, and they were the team that was projected to finish first in the Mountain West as they had 6 first-place votes. UNR was second with 4. Turner up to bat. You've got Gonzalez over at second with that leadoff double. 2-2 is fouled back into the netting yet again. So second time around, and Dava will go up against this UNLV lineup. For the Lancers in the top of the 4th inning as they try to increase their lead, they will have the heart of their lineup, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. 2-2. This one's a little dribbler over to short. This is going to be a tough play. The throw to first will not be in time, and it's going to be an infield hit for Natalie Turner, her first hit as a Rebel. And she's able to beat out the throw there by Farrier Pylon. So that will bring up Kiana Chavez. Chavez, who walked in her first plate appearance, the New Mexico transfer, who has 50 career RBIs. Chavez making the move to Las Vegas in her final season. Hailing from the state of Texas, standing 5'1" as UNLV trying to get their first run of the ball game down 8-0. First pitch. Chavez is going to send a dribble over to second. Throw to second for one. Return throw to first will be in time. It is a 4-6-3 double play. Maddie Schmidt over at first. The first base coach said she was safe. I don't believe. Actually, yep, we're going to have a challenge here. So a challenge by UNLV as Chavez ripped it over to second. The throw to second to get the force out there. And then the return throw was in time. So a 4-6-3 double play as it stands. But we will have to wait and see as the umpires head on over to look at the video board. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have, I think, 3 cameras to look at. There's 2 cameras on the dugouts. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we're on YouTube, so I don't really have much of a replay, although I can physically rewind on the YouTube broadcast. That was a very, very close play. Chavez got, good contact on it, and she ripped it over to second, but Net was quickly able to fire it over to Farrier Pylon, and Pylon with the return throw to first. The first base umpire, Daniel Maldonado, called Chavez out. So if it's overturned, it will be an RBI ground out for Chavez, and we'll get UNLV their first run of the ball game. And we'll bring up Sherelle Aki. If it stands, it's another 0 spot on the board, and UNLV unable to capitalize on the leadoff double. But right now for the Rebels, as we mentioned, they're trailing 8-0. Last year for UNLV, they hit .277 as a team. On-base percentage, .370. And the slugging percentage was at .430. They got about 5 runs per game and 7 hits per game. They had 38 home runs. But as we mentioned, a lot of their power bats are no longer here. You had Ariana Martinez, the RBI queen. It just felt like every time that she came up to bat, it was going to be something that was, I like to say, I call her dangerous. Every time she came up to bat, it was going to be dangerous for the opponents. Carmina Becerra had a great lone year here at UNLV. Jesse Farrell, who transferred over to the University of Nebraska, good power hitter. And then you had Sophia Morales, who had a really good career here at UNLV. So the Rebels, that's the big thing, the question mark for them, replacing so many key players from last year's squad. As I mentioned with Sherelle Aki, who was up to bat in her first plate appearance. She's the only Rebel returning that hit over 300. As we also talked about it for the Rebels, projected to finish tied for 8th, and that's going to put a chip on their shoulder. UNLV is usually known to be near the tops in the Mountain West in the preseason voting. But the Rebels, who have missed the Mountain West tournament 2 out of the last 3 years, and back in 2024, they were 1 game away from winning the regular season championship. And here we go, the official ruling. And they're going to say the challenge is unsuccessful for UNLV. So it's a 4-6-3 double play to end the bottom of the third, and the Rebels are denied their first run of the ball game. We'll go to a quick break and be right back with the top of the 4th inning. California Baptist on top of UNLV 8-0. Back here live at Alameda Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomczyk on the call. Thank you for joining us here on your Thursday night, wherever you're watching us on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. I want to mention this game is brought to you by Pueblo Medical Imaging. The friendly staff of Pueblo Medical Imaging is here to take care of all your radiology needs and offer same-day, next-day availability. With top-of-the-line state-of-the-art equipment, they're open 7 days a week with early morning and evening appointments to accommodate all patient schedules. 8-0 the score, and that remains after UNLV got a leadoff double. And runners at the corners with 1 out, but a 4-6-3 double play, a challenge by the Rebels, unsuccessful. And the Lancers lead remains at 8 as they look to build up on that one as they have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters up. Annette up to bat. It is Reagan Everett still out there in the circle for UNLV. Got a first scoreless inning for the Rebels in the top of the 3rd inning. That 5-run top of the 2nd where the defense was not as clean as UNLV would like to. They got caught with a couple errors. Right now for Everett, 1 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 2 runs. It has been earned, no walks, and does have a strikeout. And right now she is down on the count 3-0. For the Lancers, they use the speed to their advantage. Able to get on the base paths first 2 innings and put a lot of stress on the pitchers for UNLV, mainly Yanina Sherwood, as that one is dropped in for a strike. Annette thought that was going to be ball 4, but the home plate umpire said, nope, caught a little bit of the zone. Jim Bertuzzi calling balls and strikes here tonight, as this one is going to be taking high ball 4 this time. Annette will take the trot on over to first. So it is a leadoff walk and another leadoff batter on the base paths here for California Baptist. As I believe might have a pitch runner. We are for California Baptist, looking for the number. A little bit hard to see right now. It looks like it is Jasmine Goyne who is the pitch runner for California Baptist. And it'll be Medellin up to bat. Medellin is 1 for 1 on the day. And she attacks the first pitch and bounces this one off the netting. Good catch by Sefe. 0-1 is the count. Nobody out here in the top of the 4th inning. Here on a beautiful night at Eller Media Stadium. We talked about it. It's been unseasonably warm this winter here in Las Vegas. It's supposed to get colder next weekend. Usually you get about, I'd say, 1 to 2 tournaments. As this one's high up into the air in the center field. But it's going to be an easy play for Burnett. She's able to clamp it down, and Medellin is set down. On a fly out to center field, 1 out for Everett. As that will bring up Victoria Macias. Macias is 1 for 2 on the day. Got the scoring going with that 2-run single in the top of the 1st inning. So you're going over at first. First pitch. It's going to be dropped by Sefe. It's bobbled, but no advance over at first. 1-0 is the counts. For UNLV, they will have the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Sherelle Aki, Diamond Sefe, and Bree Williams. 2 hits on the day for UNLV. Gonzalez with the first hit with a liner to left center field. Bunt's going to be shown. It's going to be pushed back foul. And Turner was able to beat out an infield hit, but nothing across the board for the Rebels. But we mentioned for UNLV, projected to finish tied for 8th in the Mount West. For the Lancers, they were projected to finish 2nd in the WAC coaches preseason poll. Tarleton State projected to finish 1st. They had 4 first-place votes. CBU had 1 first-place vote. You got UT Arlington, Utah Valley, both had 1 first-place vote. Southern Utah, Abilene Christian, and Utah Tech. Yeah, is that one? It's going to be in there for a strike. 2-1 is the count. For UNLV, usually they play one of those 2 this year. They will play Utah Tech at the UNLV Red and Black Classic on March 6th through the 8th. Also play Utah Tech twice. This one's going to be ripped into center field for a base hit. Burnett bobbles the ball. They're going to wave the runner home. The play at the plate will not be in time. Going is able to come all the way home from first on a long single after the ball was bobbled by Burnett. An aggressive base running yet again by California Baptist. They've done that a couple times today and has worked out into their favor. So Macias is able to get her 2nd RBI hit, and now the umpires are going to talk it over here. Something asked by Christy Fox, head coach for UNLV, and now the umpires with the conference call. So we'll wait to see what this and now we're going to have another review here by UNLV, challenge by UNLV, and I believe they're going to see if the runner left early before the pitch was released. So we'll have to wait and see. And for Coach Fox, hopefully for her, she wants to win that challenge to keep this at an 8-run deficit. But another bobble out there. You saw a bobble by Burnett out in center field. And just UNLV has just not been clean defensively to start out the year. But hey, it's the first game of the year. It's a long season, as I mentioned. For the announcers, you're trying to knock off Russ, but for all these players, they're trying to knock off Russ, and it's gonna take a little bit of time to perfect everything. Right now, with one out in the top of the fourth, the Rebels down 9-0. And I mentioned for UNLV last season, areas that they want to improve on and be better in the first inning, I think is going to be a key for the Rebels, as they were outscored last year in the first inning, 41-34. The second inning was great, but you just don't want to have to play from behind in a lot of these games. So we'll have to wait and see, obviously. For everyone at home, they can go back and rewind on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics and see if it's going to be a successful challenge. Coach Fox tried it there in the bottom of the third on that ground out by Kiana Chavez. Was unsuccessful. It was a double play to end the inning and the threat. Well, we got a stoppage of play. We also want to mention that this game is brought to you by America First, Nevada's premier credit union. Whatever financial goals you've got for yourself, your family, or your business, America First can help you get your money working. So head to americafirst.com and join the home team today. UNLV and California Baptist. UNLV has dominated this series. They won last year in 8 innings, 5-0. UNLV leads the all-time series. UNLV actually leads the all-time series against all 3 opponents they will face off with this weekend. UIC 4-2 and Purdue 3-2. UNLV will play Purdue on Sunday. Tomorrow for UNLV, they will be playing against UIC. It'll be Alon Desai. We'll have the call. And then on Saturday, obviously, my other job working with UNLV Lady Rebels will be up in Logan, Utah. Alon will be helping out the PA. So you will hear the sounds of Alon PAing, but no real announcer for the Saturday games. I'll be back for the Sunday games. It's obviously a fun time of the year, but also the more a little stressful time for everybody because you're stretched thin because winter sports are still in full swing, and now you've got the start of the spring sports. So the umpires are done looking at the video board. And it is a successful challenge for Christy Fox. So the runner left early going. Got too big of a head start, and it's going to be out number 2. And we'll see, I think that sends back Macias to the plate. Head coach Forward Lancers, as we mentioned, Brandon Telesco, had a quick talk with the umpiring crew. No real animation on the talk. So it's 2 outs and a big break for UNLV to keep this an 8-run deficit, as the Rebels do need to get at least 1 run in the next 2 innings to avoid getting run ruled in their first game of the 2026 season. So the umpiring crew is set. Home plate umpire Jim Bertuzzi tells everyone to get back, and actually they're going to reset the count to 2-1. So 2-1 with 2 outs. So it's like the play never happened. Everett will drop that one in there for a strike. 2-2 is the count. As we mentioned, for UNLV, in the bottom of the 4th inning, it will be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters due up for the Rebels. Aki, Sefe, and Williams, the 3 returners from last year's squad who played a significant amount. This one is going to be dropped in a little bit high. Makes the count full 3-2. You got Sidney Peterson due up next. Count is 3-2, the payoff pitch. This one's going to be sent over to short. Turner has it. Long throw over to first will be in time for out number 3. So UNLV is able to get beneficial call, challenged by Chrissy Fox. It denies the run. Would have been the 9th run of the ballgame for California Baptist. Said the runner went too early, and UNLV puts up a 0 spot. The Rebels trying to wake up the bats as they trail this one 8-0 going to the bottom of the 4th. Here from Las Vegas, Nevada, on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics. Eight nothing is the score. UNLV down against California Baptist. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. So we want to take this opportunity and mention this game is brought to you by Sierra Conditioning and Plumbing. Sierra Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served the Las Vegas community for over 30 years with a strong focus on quality and care. With service that soars above the rest, our highly trained technicians are here for you 24/7 to get the job done right the first time. Find out about our affordable SAM plan. Only $16 a month for year-round peace of mind. Call Sierra Conditioning and Plumbing today, and let's go UNLV. California Baptist on top of UNLV 8-0. Sherelle Aki will lead it off for the Rebels, a local product from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. First pitch, and Aki will take this one for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Sherelle struck out in her first plate appearance, one of the 5 strikeouts that Dava has been able to get in this game. The Cal transfer, her first start. So far, so good. And right now, this appearance against her and Sherelle Aki is going the way of the sophomore from Riverside, California. Last season for the Lancers, they had a team ERA of 4.03. As the 0-2 pitch is going to miss on the outside for a ball. 1-2 is the count. UNLV still looking for that first run of the ballgame. They got their first hit in the last half inning as Aki will swing this one and pushes it back foul into the netting. The count is 1-2. Dava looking for the strikeout yet again, looking for her 6th and her second against Aki. Is unable to get it there as the count will go to 2-2. Rebels, who have been down since the top of the first inning, 3 in the first, 5 in the second. They've been able to put up 2 0 spots. A little bit helped out on a base running blunder. Aki swings and misses at that one. That's strikeout number 6. Aki set down on strikes for the second time in this ball game, and that will bring up Diamond Sefe. Sefe, who is 0 for 1 on the day. We talked about it for Dava, who played at Cal last year. 13 wins. 13-6, 3.25 ERA as Sefe will foul this one out of play. As she led the team in wins and in strikeouts. 13 wins, 70 strikeouts, and an ERA at 3.25. Opponent's batting average at 241 through over 100 innings. And she's as good as advertised. What we've seen so far in this ball game is she's currently shutting out the Rebels. The only time that she dealt with trouble, chaos on the base paths, got that 4.63 double play. Sefe, who popped out to short in her first plate appearance. And she is caught looking on the outside. That is 7 strikeouts for Miranda Dava. And UNLV just cannot crack the code as Bree Williams will be up to bat. The senior, who has played all 4 seasons here at UNLV, but last season was her breakout year. for Williams. Played in 44 games, made 38 starts. She batted .262, 27 hits, 3 doubles, 4 home runs. Her first career home run was against SUU, as the first pitch is going to be taken high for a ball. Count goes to 1-0. So UNLV now down to their final 4 outs. If they don't get a run here in the next 4 outs, they are going to have to go home a little bit earlier than expected. For Williams last year, 15 RBIs and scored 16 runs, as that one's going to be taken high for a ball. 2-0 is the count. For the Lancers in their 5th inning, they will have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due up. 8 hits in the ball game. And all of them came in the first 2 innings. That would be the 9th hit was wiped out on the pitch runner going a little bit too quickly. It was Jasmine Goings who was pitch running and just went a little bit too quickly, and it was a good eye by Christy Fox, as that one's going to miss on the outside ball 4. So Williams is able to draw the walk. UNLV, as I mentioned, did a good job of that last year, drawing 158 walks on the 2025 campaign. So it'll be Calderon who will be up to bat, and a pitch runner for UNLV. So Williams will be out. The pitch runner for the Rebels, it looks like it is number 29, the freshman from Henderson, Nevada, Haley Gilbertson. Went to Foothill High School. So UNLV put a little speed on the base paths here with 2 outs. So Calderon will be up to bat. Freshman is 0 for 1 on the day, getting the start over at third. A couple freshmen in the lineup for Christy Fox. And also have a little bit of a mound visit here for California Baptist as they discuss strategy, trying to avoid any 2-out rallies for the Rebels, who have just the 2 hits, both hits coming in the bottom of the 3rd, a double and a single. UNLV today, just looking at the stats, with runners on, they're 2 for 6, but with 2 outs, they're 0 for 2, 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. That one hit was that infield hit by Turner. That got Gonzalez to go to 3rd. Got Hatzenbeller due up next Burnett due up next if UNLV can keep this inning alive. Gilbertson over at first, the freshman. As the first pitch is going to miss on down low a little bit, 1-0 is the count. So Dava looking for another shutout inning. Try to get her team back up in the top of the 5th, trying to build up some insurance runs. They try to end this game a little bit early as this one is fouled back into the netting, and the count goes to 1-1. For Gilbertson, over at first, went to Foothill High School, 3-year letter winner. She earned a 4A Mountain First Team honoree in 2024. That year she batted .452, 46 stolen bases in 3 years. That's why she's on the base paths right now. Coach Fox trying to get some speed. See if she is it going to be aggressive here, as there's a swing and a miss. Actually, more of a, looked like maybe a foul tip as the ball landed in front of Madrigal. Count goes to 1-2. 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 8-0 the score if you're just joining us. 3 runs for the Lancers in the 1st, and then the big one in the 2nd. 5 spot. And they've been holding on to that lead since then. Calderon is set. And good eye as she takes that one high and out of the zone. 2-2 is the count. UNLV today as a team 2 for 12, 167 average. For the Lancers, California Baptist, they are 8 for 20, 400. That's got a little bit quiet as of lately after Everett was put in the game for UNLV. As there's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and another strikeout for Dava, who now has 8 on the day. As we go to the top of the 5th, last chance here for the Lancers to get some insurance runs. They're on top 8-0 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Back here live at Alameda Stadium here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wyatt Tomchek on the call. We have a new pitcher for UNLV. It is Emma Wardlaw, who is in the circle. And she will face off against Sydney Peterson. 8-0 California Baptist on top of UNLV as we're in the top of the fifth. Rebels are down to their final 3 outs if they want to keep this game alive. As a grounder over to second, throw to first will be in time for out number 1. 4-3 on the score sheet. As Wardlaw is able to sit down the first batter that she faces, as I believe we'll have a pitch hitter here for the Lancers. Give us an opportunity to talk about the junior from Comfort, Texas, standing 5'10". Played the last 2 seasons at Lamar, where she played in 41 games, had 27 starts, had a 2.32 ERA through 174 2/3 innings of work, 97 strikeouts, 40 of them were looking. Overall record there was 12-9. UNLV very aggressive in the transfer portal for pitching. Also got some good freshman recruits as well, had prolific careers. So we'll see how that builds up here for the 2026 season. As we do have, I believe, a pitch hitter for, didn't quite catch the number. As the first pitch is going to be taken down low for a ball, 1-0 count. Looks like it is number 57 for the Lancers. Madeline Martin, the sophomore from Yorba Linda, California, also a transfer from Long Beach State. And she swings and misses at that one, and the count goes to 1-1. Eight 0 the score. California Baptist on top of UNLV. Third pitcher used by the Rebels so far today. As this one's high and deep into left field. But it's going to stay in the ballpark and to be clamped down. For out number 2 is Hatzenbeller. Easy jog over to her left. So 2 quick outs here as UNLV looking for its 3rd straight inning where they've been able to get a 0 spot on the board. And for Martin getting the opportunity to hit, she's usually known as a pitcher. However, at Long Beach State, she was 0-3 with a 4.29 ERA. And it'll be Maddie Foster, the freshman, from right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, who will get an opportunity to hit here with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Team on top. As she attacks the first pitch, this one's going to be sent over to Turner. Throw to first will be in time for out number 3. So it's a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Rebels. But they've got to wake up the bats. They've got to score at least 1 run to keep this game alive. As we go to the bottom of the 5th, California Baptist on top of UNLV 8-0 here from Las Vegas, Nevada. Final chance for UNLV to keep this ball game alive as they are down 8-0. The Rebels put up a 0 spot in the first 4 innings. Their best opportunity was the 3rd, but with runners at the corners and 1 out, UNLV grounded out into a 4-6-3 double play. Well, we got an opportunity. We want to mention this game is brought to you by Parkway Tavern. Parkway Tavern, official partner of UNLV Athletics and your official home of Rebels on the Road. With over 250 beers, 24/7 gaming, and 7 Valley locations. There's no better place to catch the game than Parkway Tavern. Go Rebels. First pitch here to Mantha Hatzenbeller, and it's going to be taken. Actually, check that. I believe we have a pitch hitter here for UNLV. For the Rebels, as I got there, Gwen Burnett was supposed to be up for the Rebels. But it is Maggie Vaza who is up to bat. And the count is 0-2. So Vaza, who had some time with UNLV last year in the starting lineup. She goes up against Miranda Dava, who now has 8 strikeouts on the day, looking for her ninth, as that one's going to be fouled back into the netting. Count goes to 0-2. Last season for the senior from Omaha, Nebraska, Vaza played in 36 games, 24 starts, had 7 hits, 1 double, and a home run. So she is pitch hitting for Gwen Burnett in this part of the lineup. As the 0-2 pitch is swung on to left field. This ball is well hit, and it's going to land, hit off the top of the wall, and it rolls all the way back into shallow left center field. That one carried a lot more than I thought it was going to. Vaza just missed out on a home run. On a line, hit the top part of the wall, and it's a leadoff double for the Rebels. And that will bring up Lila Gonzalez. Gonzalez ripped a double almost in that exact identical spot back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. She was stranded over at third. Gonzalez with the first hit of her career and the first hit for the Rebels on the 2026 season. And Vaza, that one carried a lot more than I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to land in front of the wall, and it actually hit off the top of the wall. As the first pitch here to Gonzalez is going to be taken down low for a ball. 1-0 is the count. UNLV down 8-0. They do need 1 run to keep this game alive and avoid getting run ruled here. As that one's going to just miss on the inside. Ooh, that was close. I thought it got enough to get the strike. You kind of saw Madrigal kind of look back and just double check it on the call there by Jim Bertuzzi. Got Matha Hansenbeller due up next for the Rebels, I believe. We might have a pitch hitter for UNLV coming up for Hansenbeller. So Vaza is able to get the double to left center on an 0-2 count. 2-0. This one's going to be fouled back out of play. The count goes to 2-1. Rebels have not had a lot of opportunities with runners in scoring position today. This is just their 4th plate appearance with runners on the air. 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position. 1 for 3. This one sent high up into the air in the shallow left field. And Vaza thought about tagging, and she went about a quarter of the way and tried to deke out the defense. As Gonzalez got underneath that one. It had the elevation, just unfortunately not the distance, as Severance was able to clamp it down. She's had a good day. Hadn't really talked about her name a lot defensively, offensively setting the tone, and she was got hits in her first 2 plate appearances. As UNLV will have a pitch hitter come up for the Rebels. It'll be Presley Barnes, the sophomore from Oakdale, California. Transfer from the University of Pacific. We'll get an opportunity to hit here in the number 9 spot. So got Natalie Turner due up next. First pitch was taken in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count. For Barnes last season, as we mentioned, played at Pacific, where she started 27 of the 30 games played for her. And she's going to send this one into center field for a base hit. Vaza had to wait. She's going to be held up, almost blew through the stop sign, and it's heading over to second on the throw as it went all the way to home from center field is Barnes, and she gets her first hit as a Rebel and gets UNLV with runners in scoring position here with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that will bring up Natalie Turner as Chrissy Fox coming out. I believe Barnes is going to be pitch run for. I believe Hansenbeller will come in to run for her. Up for Barnes, last season hit .278 with 22 hits, 11 RBIs, 7 runs scored, 6 extra base hits, and 2 home runs. And she's able to get her first hit as a Rebel. And probably the best, I would say best opportunity for UNLV to score now with 2 in scoring position with 1 out. And now we're going to have a complete mound visit as everybody coming in from the outfield to talk it over in the circle With the Rebels threatening here to try to keep this game alive. And, well, we have an opportunity. When I mentioned this game is brought to you by Intermountain Health. Intermountain Health is here to help you live the healthiest life possible. As the official healthcare partner of UNLV Athletics, Intermountain Health is dedicated to promoting health and wellness in our community. So 2 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. California Baptist on top of UNLV 8-0. First game of the 2026 season. The Rebels will play 1 game tomorrow. And then they will have 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. First 3 tournaments will be here in Las Vegas. First road trip for UNLV, they will go to the GCU ASU Classic in Tempe, Arizona. Play a couple Power 4 schools in Arizona State and Wisconsin. As the first pitch here to Turner is going to be taken in there for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Turner with a infield hit in her last plate appearance. We talked about it, her time at Troy. She was lethal when she got on the base paths. She has good speed and was able to beat out the infield hit. The 0-1. Turner gets underneath this one and fouls it back out of play. Count goes to 0-2. Well, Lancers who have not scored, we haven't had a run since the 2nd inning. Goings, who was the pitch runner, would have been the 9th run. That's kind of a pivotal run right now as it stands if this game ends early, because UNLV would have to score both runs. They just need 1 run in to push this to at least a 6th inning. As this one's popped up, that's not going to help out. Easy play for Miranda. She's able to clap it down. But Dava does it herself, gets the pop fly, and that will bring up Kiana Chavez. Chavez on the day walked in her first plate appearance and then ripped a ground ball to second. It was a right to Peterson, who was able to turn it to second, return throw to first, 4-6-3 double play, and it was upheld on a challenge by UNLV. So last chance here for the Rebels. Chavez will take the first pitch high for a ball. 1-0 to count. You got Sherelle Aki due up next. Aki is 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Vaza over at third. Hatzenbeller is over at second. 2 outs in the inning. A double and a single. Those are the hits in the inning for UNLV. Overall 4. 2 hits in the third, 2 hits in the 5th. 1-0. Chavez will take this one right down the middle for a strike. 1-1 is the count. For the Rebels, their first, we talked about playing Power 4 schools. Their first Power 4 opponents will be Purdue. Nobody out of the Power 4 conferences the next 2 tournaments. As Chavez gets underneath this one high up in the air into shallow left field. And it's going to be the shortstop, Farrier Pylon. She clamps it down for out number 3. And that will, everyone's running out. And okay, there we go. It will end the ball game as UNLV. Gonzalez was sprinting over to second. I was like, I just want to make sure. Nobody changed the rules on me, but that will end the ball game as UNLV is going to be run ruled in their first game of the 2026 season. The Rebels got out to a slow start and were unable to get the bats going, get the clutch hitting. California Baptist wins it 8-0. They improve to 1-0 on the year, while the Rebels fall to 0-1 on the year. The difference was really the infield hits, putting pressure on Yanina Sherwood. And California Baptist, give them credit. They were able to get the clutch hitting. 3 runs in the first, 5 runs in the second. They were 8 for 15 with runners on as they knocked Sherwood out of the ballgame. Yanina picks up the loss as she won in the 3rd inning. She gave up 7 hits, 6 runs. They were all earned a walk. Reagan Everett out of the pen did a good job. 2 2/3 innings, 1 hit, giving up 2 runs. 1 of them were earned. UNLV had a little bit of trouble defensively in that 2nd inning. 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And Emma Wardlaw coming into the ball game in that 5th inning, able to get a nice 1-2-3 inning. She only threw 5 pitches. Was able to get to 1 fly out and 2 ground outs. So the Rebels got 4 hits in the ball game, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th, but just weren't able to get the consistency that they wanted to, and were down quickly in the ball game before they were able to kind of quiet things down and really quiet the bats of the Lancers. UNLV will get 1 more crack against CBU on Saturday, but also give credit to Miranda Dava, the Cal transfer. 5 innings of work. She picks up the win. 4 hits given up, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Her, just command of the zone was really, really good today. She faced 20 batters, gave up 2 doubles, 5 flyouts, 1 ground out, and did get a nice double play that ended a threat for UNLV as the Rebels, as we mentioned, getting just the 4 hits, 8 hits overall for the Lancers. Maddie Severance was able to get 2 hits. Farrier Pylon was able to get 2 hits. And, you know, that was just kind of the key out there today. Macias with the big 2-run single. That was kind of the game-winning hit there in the first inning. So UNLV kind of live and learn. Hey, first game, still got a long, long, long way to go. Obviously, you want to start out 1-0, but chance for the Rebels to even it out 1-1 tomorrow as they will be playing against UIC. It will be at 6 o'clock. For the California Baptist fans, they will be back in action tomorrow. They will be playing 2 games against Purdue and UIC. 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Now, there will be obviously no audio for the game, non-UNLV games. Alon to say will be on the call for UNLV's game tomorrow. But for everyone watching, just follow the YouTube link that will be posted, just like you did today. We'll have the game up, and you'll be able to watch it, follow along on the stat broadcast provided to us by UNLV Athletics, and enjoy a day of softball. So the softball season is back. We're excited for it. UNLV, unfortunately, though, did not get the start that they would like to. We'll try to bounce back tomorrow against UIC. So Wyatt Tomczyk signing off here from Las Vegas, Nevada. I want to thank everyone for tuning in on your Thursday night, wherever you have been watching, here on the YouTube channel provided to us by UNLV Athletics.